Welcome. Today we're going to talk about should you give a statement to the police? I want you to think about a couple of things. You've just been involved in a situation where you've just had to use lethal force. And what's your mindset at that point? Do you really believe you are going to be clear enough to make a statement? Is it the right statement to make? What are you going to say? Most of us are law abiding citizens, and what happens as a law abiding citizen? We've always been taught if there's a situation, pick up the phone, call 911, wait for the police to arrive, tell the police exactly what happened, and guess what? You're the good guy, everything's going to be good, they're going to release you, and case is going to be over. Unfortunately, that's not true. What happens when you make a statement to the police is you are beginning the process of building a case against you. It's not there to help you. But before we get deeper into this, let's talk about what a statement is. A lot of people believe a statement is something that you simply write out. You know, the police put you in a room with a piece of paper and a pen. You write every little detail out. You sign it, give it back to them. They read it, say, okay, great, and you get the opportunity to walk away. While that's one form of a statement, there are many other types of statements that you really need to be aware of. For example, did you know just talking to someone, you using your own words, talking to the police, that's considered a statement. So when the police arrive and you say something along the lines of, I was in fear for my life, this guy broke in my house, I pulled my firearm out, I shot 3 times, guess what? That's a statement to the police. Again, this is starting the case against you. Not the case for you, but the case against you. Other forms of statements, even though, again, let me go back, even though that wasn't written down, if the police officer takes notes, he's going to get to court and say, Mr. Smith said this, he said this, and he's going to read off what you actually said. Other forms of this are body cams. Not every police officer has them, but if they do, and this is being recorded, again, statements against you. I've had clients that have actually gone to the police station. They've been in a room with the police officer, and they haven't even seen a camera or anything in there. And they'll say, well, yeah, I talked to the officer, but I didn't say this, I didn't say that. Unfortunately, you're making a statement, and believe it or not, if you're in most jurisdictions, if you are being interrogated, in other words, asked questions about something, guess what happens? That is probably being recorded. They don't have to tell you, hey, I'm recording this. So there is no privacy or anything along those lines. Some places, to make it even a little more complex, your actions can be deemed as statements. What do I mean? Do you like chocolate? See what I just did? Now, the question there is, am I saying I like chocolate, or am I acknowledging that I understand your statement? Again, that could be a little confusing, but again, in some jurisdictions, you nodding your head. If a police officer says, I asked Mr. Johnson, did he like chocolate? He nodded his head. What if I was just nodding my head like, yeah, that's interesting, I'm not sure. You have to be very careful, not only what you say, but what you do as well. But the question you really have to put in front of you is my mind clear enough to make a statement or give a statement to the police at this point? Here's what you got to be conscious of. If you've just used lethal force, you've got adrenaline running through your body. And that adrenaline has got to get out some way, somehow. And the quickest, fastest way for that adrenaline to get out, right here, your mouth. We want to explain our way out of things. We want to go above and beyond. And the hardest thing for you to do at that point is not to say anything. Because as the law states, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. No matter what you say, it's not there for your benefit. Let me give you an example. If I say, you ask me a question 50 times, did you shoot this person? And I answer 49 times, no, I did not shoot this person. But one time out of that 50, I say, yes, I did shoot this person. Guess what gets into court? that one statement, not the other 49 where I denied something. So again, this is a system that's been set up to capture statements, not to help you. You're in this state of mind where this adrenaline's running through you. You might be in a little bit of shock. The best thing you want to do is say nothing. Now, I want you to think about a police officer or a peace officer of any type who's in a situation like that. Generally, they get 2 to 3 sleep cycles before they have to make a statement. Why do they get that? Because, again, you don't want to start off with a statement, based upon what you remember right at that time. Let's say it's today at noon, and then 2 days later you remember something. Oh, yeah, I remember this. Let me go back and tell the police. The question that's going to be asked of you is, why didn't you tell us at the time? Which version of the truth do you want us to believe? What you told us 2 days ago or what you're telling us now? What if those statements are contrary to one another? What happens at that point? The best thing that you can do in a situation like this after you use lethal force to protect yourself or protect others is contact your attorney. Now, why do I say that? Because if you call your attorney and explain to your attorney can tell the police exactly what's going on. And here's the good part. He or she will know exactly how to do that. You don't know exactly what to say or how to say, but here's the bigger part. If an attorney shows up to the situation and tells the police something, that's not a statement that you've made. That's a statement that your attorney has given to the police on your behalf, but that's not a statement that you have made unless the police are right there, again, writing it down, etc. The other good part about calling an attorney is it's going to put a little distance between you and the police. You now have an advocate on your side. Again, going back to like a police shooting, what's the first thing that they ask for? They ask for their union rep. Why is that? Because again, their union rep is going to come who's basically acting as an attorney, an advocate on behalf of their client. That's what you need to have there, someone advocating on your behalf. Now, let's talk about a couple of things. You've called the police, you've picked up the phone, you've called your attorney. More likely than not, the police are going to arrive before your attorney does. How do you handle that? You tell the police, I'm waiting on my attorney to arrive. Soon as he or she gets here, we'll then proceed. But don't get in a situation where you are talking and then your attorney has got to get you out of something. Because believe it or not, once you give a statement, it's really hard to undo. Now we get the question all the time, I didn't get Miranda rights. Again, in order to get Miranda, there's a couple of little legal loopholes you got to be involved in. Was the statement that you gave voluntary? So if I just blurt out, hey, I shot this guy that broke into my house, you don't have to be Mirandized. Were you in custody at the time? What were some other factors going on? Once a statement is made, trying to undo it is not an easy thing. We have a lot of people who want to play TV lawyer out there, and I'm going to tell you, that's one of the worst things you can do. Again, make that phone call to your attorney, wait for him or her to get there, and more than anything else, don't say or do anything. Now, while you're waiting for your attorney, there's a couple of things you need to be mindful of. The police are going to separate you from just about everything. What do I mean everything? Your family. You're not going to be able to talk to your significant other. You're not going to be able to talk to your kids, neighbors, friends, anyone. They're going to keep you separate. Guess what else they're going to do? They're also going to take this thing here, this phone, and they're going to take it away from you. They're going to make sure that you have no connection with the outside world. So if you haven't called your attorney at this point, you are going to have someone else get a hold of someone to make that call for you. So again, 911, then your attorney. Next thing you've got to be conscious of, again, they're going to ask you questions. And if you say, I'm waiting on my attorney, that's fine, but don't blurt out statements. Don't say, oh my God, oh, that was such a close call. I'm glad I had my guns around. Those are things that can, and again, will be used against you. This is the time when the government starts to build the case against you, not a case for you. That's what you have to keep in mind. So let's talk about a couple of takeaways here again. Number one, say nothing, wait for your attorney to arrive. After you've called 911, if you're a member of Firearms Legal Protection, it's very simple. You get a card that looks like this, and on the back of that card is a 800 number. You pick the phone up, you dial that emergency hotline number. We're going to dispatch an attorney out to you as quickly as possible. And at that point, again, wait. You want to become a member of Firearms Legal Protection? Click on the link here and it'll take you right to our page and you can enjoy that benefit as well. The other thing you want to keep in mind as you're waiting, as I stated, you're going to be separated. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, you are not going to talk your way out of that situation. So please, be quiet, wait on your attorney, and do nothing.